Start with the name of Allah, the most merciful and mighty. Today we are going to discuss about Hadith number 63. Narrated Anas bin Malik, while we were sitting with the Prophet in the mosque, a man came riding on a camel. He made his camel kneel down in the mosque, tied its foreleg and then said, "Who amongst you is Muhammad?" At that time the Prophet was sitting amongst us, his companions leaning on his arm. We replied, "This white man reclining on his arm." The end then addressed him, "O son of Abdul Muttalib." The Prophet said, "I am here to answer your question." The man said to the Prophet, "I want to ask you something and I will be hard in question, so don't get angry." The Prophet said, "Ask whatever you want." The man said, "I ask you by your Lord and the Lord of those who were before you, has Allah sent you as an apostle to all the mankind?" The Prophet replied, "By Allah, yes." The man further said, "I ask you by Allah, has Allah ordered you to offer pious prayer in a day and night, 24 hours? He replied, "By Allah, yes." The man further said, "I ask you by Allah, has Allah ordered you to observe fast during his month from the year Ramadan?" He replied, "By Allah, yes." The man further said, "I ask you by Allah, has Allah ordered you to take zakat, obligatory charity, from our rich people and distribute it amongst our people, our poor people?" The Prophet replied, "By Allah, yes." Thereupon the man said, "I have believed in all that with which you have been sent, and I have been sent by my people as a messenger, and I am Dimam bin Talaba from the brothers of Bani Sa'd bin Bakkar." Hadith number 64, narrated Abdullah bin Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Once people apostle gave a letter to a person and ordered him to go and deliver it to the governor of Bahrain. He did so, and the governor of Bahrain sent it to Qaus Ruz, who read that letter and then tore it to pieces. The sub-narrator Ibn Shihab thinks that Ibn al-Musayyib said that Allah apostle invoked Allah against them, saying, "May Allah tear them into pieces and disperse them all totally." Hadith number 65, narrated Anas bin Malik, once the Prophet wrote a letter or had an idea of writing a letter. The Prophet was told that the ruler would not read letters unless they were sealed. So the Prophet got a silver ring made with Muhammad's Allah apostle engraved on it, as if I were just observing its white glitter in the hand of the Prophet. Hadith number 65, narrated Abu Waqid al-Laythi, while Allah apostle was sitting in the mosque with some people, 3 men came. 2 of them came in front of Allah the apostle, and the third one went away. The 2 persons kept on standing before Allah apostle for a while, and then one of them found a place in the circle and sat there, while the other sat behind the gathering, and the third one went away. When Allah apostle finished his preaching, he said, "Shall I tell you about these 3 persons? One of them took himself to Allah, so Allah took him into his grace and mercy and accommodated him. The second fell shy from Allah, so Allah sheltered him in his mercy and did not punish him, while the third turned his face from Allah and went away, so Allah turned his face from him likewise." Hadith number 67, narrated Abdul Rahman bin Abi Bakra's father. Once the Prophet was riding his camel, and a man was holding its rein. The Prophet asked, "What is the day today?" We kept quiet, thinking that he might give that day another name. He said, "Is not it the day of Nahar, slaughtering of the animals of sacrifice?" We replied, "Yes." He further asked, "Which month is this?" We again kept quiet, thinking that he might give it another name. Then he said, "Is not it the month of Dhul Hijjah?" We replied, "Yes." He said, "Verily, your blood, property, and honor are sacred to one another. Muslims like the sanctity of this day of yours is this month of yours and in this city of yours. It is incumbent upon those who are present to inform those who are absent, because those who are absent might comprehend what I have said better than the present audience. Hadith number 65, narrated Ibn Mas'ud, the Prophet used to take care of us in preaching by selecting a suitable time so that we might not get bored. He abstained from pestering us with some sermons and knowledge all the time. Hadith number 69, narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet said, facilitate things to people concerning religious matter and don't make it hard for them, and give them good tidings and do not make them run away from Islam. Hadith number 70, narrated Abu Awal, Abdullah used to give a religious talk to the people on every Thursday. Once a man said, "O Aba Abdurrahman, by Allah, I wish if you could preach us daily." He replied, "The only thing which prevents me from doing so is that I had to bore you, and no doubt I take care of you in preaching by selecting a suitable time, just as the Prophet used to do with us, for fear of making us bored." Narrated Muawiyah, I heard Allah Apostle saying, if Allah wants to do good to a person, He makes him comprehend religion. I am just distribution, but the grant is from Allah. And remember that this nation, true Muslim, will keep on following Allah's teaching strictly, and they will not be harmed by anyone going on a different path till Allah's order, day of judgment, is established. Narrated Ibn Umar, we were with the Prophet, and a spadix of date palm tree was brought to him. On that he said, amongst the tree there is a tree which resembles a Muslim. I wanted to say that it was the date palm tree, but as I was the youngest of all, I kept quiet, and then the Prophet said, it is the date palm tree. Hadith number 73, narrated Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet said, don't wish to be like anyone except in two cases. The first is a person whom Allah has given wealth and he spends it rightly. The second is the one whom Allah has given wisdom, the Holy Quran, and he acts according to it and teach it to others. Fatih al-Bari, page 177. Hadith number 674, narrated Ibn Abbas, that he differed with Har bin Qais bin Hassan al-Fazari regarding the companion of the Prophet. Moses Ibn Abbas said that he was Khadir. Meanwhile, Ubay bin Ka'b passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, my friend and I have differed regarding Moses' companion, whom Moses asked the way to meet. Have you heard the Prophet mention something about him? He said, yes. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, while Moses was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, do you know anyone who is more learned than you? Moses replied, no. So Allah sent the divine inspiration to Moses, yes, our slave Hadir is more learned than you. Moses asked Allah how to meet him. Hadir, so Allah made the fish as a sign for him, and he was told that when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him al-Hizr. So Moses went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The servant boy of Moses said to him, do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish. None but Shaitan made me forget to remember it. On that Moses said, that is what we have been seeking. So they went back, retracing their footsteps, and found Hizr, and what happened further to them is narrated in the Holy Quran by Allah in Surah number 15 and 16. Hadith number 75, narrated Ibn Abbas. And the Prophet embraced me and said, O Allah, bestow on him the knowledge of the book Quran. Hadith number 76, narrated Ibn Abbas. Once I came riding a she-ass and had just attained the age of puberty. Allah the Apostle was offering the prayer at Mina. There was no wall in front of him, and I passed in front of some of the row while they were offering their prayer there. I let the she-ass loose to graze and entered the row, and nobody objected to it. Hadith number 77. Narrated Muhammad bin Rabia. When I was a boy of 5, I remember the Prophet took water from a bucket used for getting water out of a well with his mouth and threw it on my face. Hadith number 78, narrated Ibn Abbas, that he differed with Harbin Hazmin, his son al-Pazari, regarding the companion of the Prophet Moses. Meanwhile, Ubay bin Qab passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, My friend and I have differed regarding Moses' companion whom Moses asked the way to meet. Have you heard Allah Apostle mention something about him? Ubay bin Qab said, Yes, I heard the Prophet mention something about him. While Moses was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, Do you know anyone who is more learned with you than you? Moses replied, No. So Allah sent the divine inspiration to Moses, Yes, our slave Khizr is more learned than you. Moses asked Allah how to meet him, Al-Khizr. So Allah made the fish a sign for him, and he was told when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him, Al-Khizr. So Moses went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The servant boy of the Moses said, Do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish. None but Shaitan made me forget to remember it. On that Moses said, That is what we have been seeking. So they went back, retracing their footstep, and found Khizr. And what happened further about them is narrated in the Holy Quran by Allah. Hadith number 79, narrated Abu Musa, the Prophet said, The example of guidance and knowledge with which Allah has sent to me is like abundant rain falling on the earth, some of which was fertile soil that absorbed rainwater and brought forth vegetation and grass in the abundance. Another portion of it was hard and held the rainwater, and Allah benefited the people with it, and they utilized it for drinking, making their animals drink from it, and for irrigation of the land for cultivation. A portion of it was barren, which could neither hold the water nor bring forth vegetation. Then that land gave no benefits. The first is the example of the person who comprehends Allah's religion and get benefit from the knowledge which Allah has revealed through them, the Prophet, and learn and then teach others. The last example is that a person who does not care for it and does not take Allah's guidance revealed through me is like that barren land. Hadith number 80, narrated Anas, Allah Apostle said, From among the portents of the hour are the following. Number 1, religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of the religious learned men. Religious ignorance will prevail. Drinking of alcoholic drinks will be very common. There will be prevalence of open illegal sexual intercourse. Hadith number 81, narrated Anas, I will narrate to you a hadith and none other than I will tell you about after it. I heard Allah Apostle saying, From among the portents of the hour are the following. Religion knowledge will decrease by the rate of religious learned men. Religious ignorance will prevail. There will be prevalence of often illegal sexual intercourse. Women will increase in number and men will decrease in number, so much so that 50 women will be looked after by one man. This number 82, narrated Ibn Umar. Allah Apostle said, While I was sleeping, I saw that a cup full of milk was brought to me, and I drank my fill till I noticed the milk its sweetness coming out of my nails. And I gave the remaining milk to Umar ibn al-Khattab. The companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, asked, What have you interpreted about this dream? O Allah's Apostle, he replied, It is religious knowledge. Hadith number 83, narrated Abdullah bin Amir bin al-As. Allah Apostle stopped for a while near the Jimar at Mina during his last Hajj for the people, and they were asking his question. A man came and said, I forgot and I got my head shaved before slaughtering the Hadi, sacrificing animal. The Prophet said, there is no harm, go and do the slaughtering now. Then another person came and said, I forgot and slaughtered the camel before Rami, throwing up the pebbles at the Jamra. The Prophet said, do the Rami now and there is no harm. The narrator added, so on that day when the Prophet was asked about anything as regards the ceremonies of Hajj performed before or after his due time, his reply was, do it now and there is no harm. Hadith number 84, Ibn Abbas. Somebody said to the Prophet during his last Hajj, I did the slaughtering before doing the Rami. The Prophet beckoned with his hand and said, there is no harm in that. Another person said, I got my head shaved before offering the sacrifice. The Prophet beckoned with his hand, saying, there is no harm in that. Hadith number 85, narrated Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet said, religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of religious scholars. Ignorance in religion and application will appear, and harj will increase. It was asked, what is harj? O Allah Apostle, he replied by beckoning with his hand indicating killing. Fatih al-Bari, page 192. Hadith number 86, narrated Asma. I came to Aisha while she was praying and said to her, what has happened to the people? She pointed out toward the sky. I looked toward the mosque and saw the people offering the prayer. Aisha said, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. I said to her, is there a sign? She nodded with her head, meaning yes. I too then stood for the prayer of eclipse till I became nearly unconscious, and later I poured water on my head. After the prayer, the Prophet praised and glorified Allah and then said, just now at this place I have seen what I have never seen before, including paradise and hell. No doubt it has been inspired to me that you will be put to trial in your graves, and these trial will be like the trial of Mazia or Dajjal, or nearly like it. The sub-narrator is not sure which expression Asma used. You will be asked, what do you know about this man, the Prophet Muhammad? Then the faithful believers, or Asma, said a similar word, will reply as he is Muhammad, peace be upon him, Allah's apostle, who had come to us with clear evidence and guidance. And so we accepted his teaching and followed him, and he is Muhammad. And he will repeat it thrice. Then the angel will say to him, sleep in peace, as we have come to know that you were a faithful believer. On the other hand, a hypocrite or a doubtful person will reply, I don't know, but I heard the people saying something, and so I said it the same.